INFJ emotional burnout. 7 silent signs you're exhausted inside. INFJs don't usually break down loudly. They don't always cry in front of others. They don't always ask for help. They don't always admit they're struggling. Instead, they keep going. They smile. They listen. They support. They function. Until one day, something inside them feels empty. Not sad. Not angry. Just tired in a way sleep doesn't fix. This is INFJ emotional burnout, and most people never see it coming. Today, we're exploring 7 silent signs of INFJ emotional burnout, the quiet signals that appear long before an INFJ ever says, "I can't do this anymore." If you're an INFJ, this may feel uncomfortably familiar. And if you love one, this may help you understand what they rarely explain. INFJs are known for empathy, insight, and emotional depth. They are the ones others lean on. The ones who listen without judgment. The ones who sense what's wrong before it's spoken. But what's rarely discussed is the cost of that depth. Because INFJs don't just care. They carry. They carry emotions. They carry expectations. They carry responsibility, often silently. And burnout doesn't arrive suddenly. It arrives quietly, gradually, in ways that are easy to miss, even for the INFJ themselves. 1. Emotional numbness replaces emotional depth. One of the earliest signs of INFJ burnout is emotional numbness. Not emptiness, but distance. INFJs who once felt deeply begin to feel muted. They still care, but the intensity is gone. Joy feels distant. Sadness feels flat. This numbness isn't apathy. It's protection. After absorbing too much emotion for too long, the INFJ nervous system shuts down feeling as a form of survival. They don't stop caring. They stop feeling safely. This is often confusing for INFJs. Because their emotional depth has always been part of their identity. Losing access to it feels like losing themselves. 2. Withdrawal without explanation. Burned out INFJs don't usually announce their withdrawal. They just become harder to reach. Messages take longer to answer. Invitations feel overwhelming. Even people they love feel draining. This withdrawal isn't rejection. It's recovery. INFJs retreat when their inner world becomes too heavy to manage alongside external demands. They need silence. They need space. They need emotional rest. But because INFJs are used to being available for others, they often feel guilty for pulling away, even when it's necessary. 3. Loss of meaning and motivation. INFJs are driven by meaning. Purpose fuels them. Alignment energizes them. Values guide their actions. During burnout, that sense of meaning fades. Tasks that once felt purposeful now feel pointless. Goals feel distant. Even passions feel heavy. This loss of motivation isn't laziness. It's emotional depletion. When INFJs give too much of themselves without replenishment, their inner compass becomes exhausted. They don't know where they're going, because they've been too busy holding others steady. 4. Increased irritability over small things. INFJs are known for patience. So when small things suddenly feel unbearable, it's often a sign of burnout. Noise feels sharper. Interruptions feel intrusive. Minor inconveniences trigger disproportionate irritation. This doesn't mean the INFJ has become angry or unkind. It means their emotional reserves are empty. When there's no energy left for processing, the nervous system reacts defensively. INFJs may feel ashamed of this irritability, because it doesn't match how they see themselves. But it's a signal, not a flaw. 5. Feeling emotionally responsible for everyone, then resenting it. INFJs often take on emotional responsibility without realizing it. They sense others' needs. They anticipate emotional shifts. They adjust themselves to maintain harmony. Over time, this becomes exhausting. In burnout, INFJs may begin to feel resentment, not toward specific people, but toward the expectation of always being emotionally available. This resentment is often followed by guilt. INFJs don't want to feel this way, but it emerges when boundaries have been ignored for too long. Burnout exposes the cost of unspoken emotional labor. 6. Overthinking turns into mental exhaustion. INFJs naturally reflect deeply, but burnout changes the quality of their thinking. Instead of insight, there is rumination. Instead of clarity, there is mental fog. Thoughts loop without resolution. Decisions feel harder. Future planning feels overwhelming. The mind feels busy but unproductive. This mental exhaustion is not overthinking by choice. It's a tired mind trying to make sense of emotional overload. INFJs may begin to doubt themselves during this phase, even though burnout is the real issue. 7. Quiet fantasies of escape. One of the most silent and misunderstood signs of INFJ burnout is the desire to disappear. Not permanently, not dramatically, just to be unreachable, unneeded, unseen. INFJs may fantasize about being alone somewhere quiet, starting over anonymously, having no emotional obligations. This isn't avoidance. It's a longing for rest, a wish to exist without absorbing the world. When life feels like constant emotional output, the INFJ soul craves stillness. Why INFJ burnout is so hard to notice. INFJs don't show burnout the way others do. They still function. They still show up. They still support, until they can't. They are experts at appearing composed while unraveling internally. And because they understand others so well, they often minimize their own suffering. They tell themselves, others have it worse. I should be able to handle this. I just need to push through. But burnout doesn't heal through endurance. It heals through awareness, boundaries, and rest. How INFJs begin to heal from emotional burnout. Healing for INFJs starts quietly, with permission. Permission to rest without guilt. Say no without explanation. Choose solitude without shame. Put their own emotional needs first. It also requires reconnecting with meaning, slowly. Not productivity, not obligation, but alignment. INFJs heal when they return to what feels true, calm, and internally honest. INFJ emotional burnout doesn't mean you're weak. It means you've been strong for too long without support. It means you've cared deeply in a world that often takes without asking. And it means your sensitivity, the very thing that exhausts you, is also what makes you wise. Burnout is not the end. It's a message. A quiet one, asking to be heard. If this video felt personal, if it described feelings you rarely voice, you're not alone. There are INFJs everywhere carrying quiet exhaustion, holding more than they show, feeling more than they say. If you want more psychology-based content that understands the INFJ inner world, consider subscribing. Because healing begins when what's silent is finally understood.